Die Zukunft der Arbeit startet mit dir. Ganz egal, ob du CEO, angestellt, selbstständig, auf Jobsuche oder im Studium bist. In der Arbeitswelt von heute stehen wir alle vor denselben Herausforderungen. Wir sind umgeben von Ideen und Konzepten zu Future Skills, Digitalisierung, Mentoring, verantwortungsvollem Recruiting und künstlicher Intelligenz. Also gehen wir sie gemeinsam an. Wie beeinflusst mentale Gesundheit den Job? Wie müssen sich Unternehmen verändern, um ihre Mitarbeitenden für sich zu begeistern und zu unterstützen? Und wie baue ich mir mein eigenes berufliches Netzwerk auf? Darüber wollen wir heute sprechen, um miteinander und voneinander zu lernen. Education, Transformation, Action.
So, hi everyone. How are you doing this morning? Yes, you keeping up? So, very pleased to be here on stage to entertain you this morning with a topic of the future. Okay, how can I go back? Well, I can't go back. Yes. With the topic of the future, I wanted to entertain around coaching and reimagining work with the power of self-coaching. So as the CEO and co-founder of Olivya, I'd like to take you in the next 20-30 minutes in imagining what the world will be and the workforce would be with self-coaching. And before I start, I'd like to share a personal anecdote that has shaped me as a professional in my career. And that was also at the genesis of what led me to create Olivya. It was 2019. So before my profession as a leadership coach, which I have been doing for a year now, I have been working as a game executive for the past 15 years. And in gaming, I was running a studio that I built from scratch. It was 2019. I built a team of 12 people, and we were launching a game, growing revenues. And I remember that night, Wednesday night, 9 p.m., 2019, I had a call from my boss at late night, and I was like, it doesn't look good to have a call from your boss on your phone at night. And it was a very short conversation, 5 minutes, where he told me, well, look, we look into our numbers with our executive management. It's not looking good. We are behind our quarter, and we need to cut. We need to cut costs, and your studio is affected. And I'm sorry to tell you, you have to have your team. We are Wednesday. You have to give me the names by Friday this week, and on Monday, these people will be gone. And within those 5 minutes, he told me also it's non-negotiable. We've already decided it, so I really ask you for your support to just make it happen. No need to waste time to discuss. And when he left me with that news, I spent one of my most awful nights in my career. Like, that's the one I can remember forever, because I couldn't sleep at all that night. My mind was racing when I was asking myself, what should I do? Should I start to make the list of people I will fire? I built that studio from scratch. I picked people. We built a relationship, right? A human relationship. Should I pick myself? Should I leave the company? I couldn't sleep at all that night. And the reality as well is I couldn't talk to anyone. It was already late. I couldn't call a friend. I felt bad of calling a friend in the middle of the night. A coach, I didn't have a coach accompanying me, and even if I had one, I would feel quite bad to call that person, so I just couldn't sleep. And so as I was running the scenario that night in my head, in the morning, I found a resolution, and I decided to quit. Because for me, it was clear that I didn't want to continue in a company that would just leave me so little options to continue after everything I've built. But I had to spend 12 hours not sleeping to get to that conclusion. And things that happened later, I named myself part of a list of people who had to go. My leaders as well followed, and we had the team, the list of people who had to leave. And then the people who needed the job the most stayed, and that's what I wanted. So why I'm sharing here this example is, well, it's an awful story, and I wish that none of you have experienced that. It's the reality of a lot of professionals. And, what we have in our mind, especially in my coaching, I see this, we have so many things going in our head. What is the decision I should make? I feel overwhelmed. What is the choice? What's my dilemma? There's a change, I need to change. And all those things that are just, polluting the mind all the time. And a quick question here, do you feel this way as well, where you have 100,000 things to think all the time? Yeah? And I didn't even put here, like, when do I eat? What do I have for dinner? Where do I go on holiday when I entertain those thoughts? So when those things happen, the question is, who? Who do you talk to? Who do you talk to when you have something really on your mind that you need to spar with a partner to find a resolution? And sometimes we have a partner, sometimes we don't have a partner. And sometimes we don't want to burden our partner with all our problems at work. We have our friends, same story. Maybe we have a coach, but not everybody can afford a coach. So who do we talk to? Is ChatGPT helping all the time? Yeah? Well, that's maybe a direction I'll entertain as well. But yeah, we don't really have someone that we don't feel like guilty to talk to. And even if there's ChatGPT, the reality is we're quite lonely in this journey. I think a lot about executives that have, again, 100,000 things to think about with the responsibilities. And while we're surrounded by our team, colleagues, partners, we're lonely in this journey. And I want to share here, as my topic is around self-coaching, some practices, techniques that you can apply based on my learnings. I have coached over 100 of professionals in my career in an unofficial way. Like I said, I was building teams, organizations, like departments as well in organization, and I've been also a coach. And some of those blockers, maybe you will recognize yourself. They are all about limiting beliefs. And just for me, for a quick understanding of the audience today, who is familiar with coaching, by the way? Yeah? Okay, we have quite a good self-aware audience. That's great. So in coaching, it's a lot about removing the limiting beliefs. And what are they? They are very deep and they are quite common among people. The I am not enough. I know that coaching a lot of women, I have felt a lot that way, and I still feel in some moments of vulnerability. And it's all, when we work in coaching, it's all about self-perception. We work not on making or doing the things that make you feel enough. It's more, how do you feel about yourself? So we work on themes of self-perception and confidence and fears. So the belief, limiting belief that I can't do it, I can't build that company, I can't go for that promotion, I can't ask that raise. It's all about confidence and fears. Or having clarity. Back to what I shared earlier, when we are with all those thoughts, we don't have clarity. And the coaching process helps to gain clarity. So those are all some common, I would say, blockers that I've identified. And some of you maybe have felt this way or are feeling this way these days. We're, I hope, in a safe space where you can share. We're here, to learn with each other. Have you felt this way in this list? Yeah? Thanks for being vulnerable and share. And that's the hard work with coaching is sometimes we deny to ourselves that we're feeling this way. But until we hit the wall, we have to admit. And so what coaching provides and what I would like to offer today is several pillars and techniques around coaching, which first is clarity. Because, when we are trying to work on ourselves, we are like our face to that tree. We look at ourselves in a super closed, narrow way, and what we don't see is the forest of ourselves, the broad view. And that's what coaching helps to zoom out, take distance, a big, big distance, to see the forest of who you are and all the dimension of who you are, not just the tree that is in front of you. And how do we do that in coaching? So again, coaching is quite a new profession, and so a lot of coaching out there is actually more advisory and mentoring. But coaching is all about asking the powerful question. And what are those questions? So the powerful questions, they start with what, who, and when. And here, intentionally, I took out why and how, because if you're coaching or you are being coached, why triggers in the brain a reaction of defense. So when you ask somebody why are you doing something, they are not in the discovery, exploring process. They are in the defensive process. That's why we avoid that question. And how, the same, it activates a part of the brain that is trying to find solution, problem solving. So you are not open to actually learn. So in coaching, we always try to start the question with what, who, when, or how many. And as coaching, the skills we use are all about listening. And active listening is not about just listening to what you say right now. It's how you say it. What is the tone? What is the emotion that comes with it? What is it, not what you say, and the body language. Also, we observe a lot around what is the person feeling. So a lot of coaching is about sensing and intuition, which is not the skills you acquire by going to a school. That's why also certification, coaching are helping, but nobody can buy intuition. It's something you develop just by being attuned with a person. And then when you sense something, what could be the mental blocker, you inquire. And it's all about asking the right question at the right time in the right way. And that's where it unlocks some realization for you. Because the realization, the most powerful one, are the ones that we walk, that you walk. That's why in coaching, there's no point for us to tell you what we see, because you have to see it yourself. You have to discover it yourself. And that's where the journey of self-growth happens. And so the second benefit from coaching after you get clarity is structure. Because if you remember what I shared earlier, when all your thoughts are polluted by a lot of things, we help structure your thoughts and reframe them. Because it's all about perception and reality. So each coach worked with a toolbox. And maybe you can pick some of the toolbox here, and I'll share some models that we use in coaching, and they are known, there are books about it. So one is the GROW model, for example, where basically we work with the goals of a person. What are they trying to achieve? Where are they today, the reality? What are the options in front of them? So just asking those questions is just mapping it out, structuring already the work. And the will is, what is the commitment? Where will you act? What do you choose to do? Because from the moment you express it, you speak it out, you have to face yourself like, am I going to do something that I said to do? But if you don't talk about it, you don't have to do it, right? So it's very powerful as a method to go through, for example, that kind of framework. You can look it up. And other methods we have also is coactive coaching, and I will not get into detail here, but coactive starts from the belief that we are all equals. So the coach is never above the person that they coach. We are equal and we are whole. So the work here is to unlock the wholeness of a person, because we are whole, but by default, we are doing everything to not be ourselves. So the work is really about helping, accompanying the process of you to become who you are. And other methods that we use around moving from limiting beliefs, and one that I really like, and maybe you can take with you today, is the life scripts. Because we are accumulation of life scripts. A life script I have for myself, I am French, it's a life script. I have a Vietnamese background, this is a life script. I'm a woman that has challenges in tech because I'm the only one in the room, so a lot of life script we run with. And what we do in coaching is to examine those life scripts that you have today, those identity, and are they serving you today the way that really you need to. So we break those life scripts and we reprogram them. And visualization, which I love as well, which is really dreaming big, building the vision of where you want to be, using a lot of metaphor and visualization. So coaching in the end is very creative. That's why for me, coming from a creative field, it's applying that creativity to a human field. So if you're interested, you can also look it up, and those are things that you can do also in journaling for today without a coach. And the power of that, giving structure to your thoughts, is what we understand, we can change it, and only at that time. Because when it's a chaos, there's nothing you can do about it, you don't understand what's happening. So the benefit of putting structure is to understand and then change. And the last, I would say, benefit or pillar of coaching, and why we are doing all of this, is to create serenity. That's what all we want as human. It's a human needs, we want serenity. And from chaos to serenity, how do we build that? It's the process, basically, as I shared earlier, to be one with ourselves. And we live in Western societies where everything is happening on the mind level. It's very head-based. All those fears, all those things that we think we should do, we can't do, it's all happening in the mind. And the process of a lot of coaching is building that path from mind to the heart. And how often do we talk about hard things? We are here at a conference where there's a lot of tech and AI. It's very head-based. So that process to build the path, the link from mind to heart, is where you build congruence, the identity, where you act according to your values. And that's where serenity happens for also a lot of people I see, CEOs I coach, they are tormented because they are not themselves anymore. So building congruence is accessing that heart. And in the work also, we do a lot of giving space to the shadows, because again, a tendency we have in a modern Western society is to suppress everything that is a negative emotion. No anger, no sadness, no fear. But those emotions exist in you, in your body. And when you don't give space or acknowledge them, they will manifest one way or another, and in quite unhealthy behaviors. So that's the work we do as well, to reconnect and become whole again with those shadows. Because again, back to coactive coaching, you are whole with everything, the light and the darkness. And this process is also about releasing. So when you have a coach, you can speak the unspeakable truth. And in those conversations, there's a lot of shame, grieving. And where do you talk about those things, right? Sometimes you can't even talk to a partner about it. And that's where the space happening in coaching, to let it out. And so for this whole process, which is about being seen, understood, accepted, this is where emotional stability happens, and then serenity. So I hope at least through this process and the 3 pillars I shared around clarity, structure, and serenity, it's all, I would say, a process to build your way back to your heart, because the full potential of humanity is in our heart. Creativity is in the heart, it's not in the mind. And everything that we create, that we'll create in the future, is located here. So that's why it has so much potential as well for transforming workplace and development, personal development. So back to the topic of coaching yourself, I share today some principles around coaching, and what does it mean then for you to coach yourself if you want to start? So you start by getting clarity. You start by doing a lot of self-reflection with some tools I shared, structuring your thoughts, and challenging your beliefs. So good luck with that. Can you? Well, you can't. So yes, that's also a disclaimer. It's really, really hard to coach yourself. Because back to the previous image I shared, you are really close to the tree. And myself being a coach, I coach a lot of leaders. I'm too close to my tree, and I have a coach myself, because I know I'm too close to the tree and I need to zoom out. So it's very difficult to apply those principles to you, because you yourself, it's like human limitation. And unfortunately, that's the state of the workforce today, where 80% of people don't have a coach support. And the reason for that identified is barriers that are time, because it takes time to find a coach. And nobody wants to spend time on Google and start to look for a coach and filter what are the scammers and who's right for me. So that has been a big barrier. And money, it's also a very material one. It costs hundreds of thousands of euros to hire a coach. So it's not affordable. But when we talk about human needs, everyone needs to have clarity, serenity in their life, right? And that's where with our team, we have built Olivya. Is the coach you which you could talk to anytime, 24/7, and available right away in your pocket. So we have the app, so it's already in beta. I'll share the link after. You just talk to it right now. You have your problem. That night, that awful night when I had that call, I wish I could talk to Olivya. I would have sorted out my problems and go to bed and have a normal night. But I couldn't. So here you can talk to her, and within a session of 10 minutes, you have clarity and structure of what is blocking you. And then at the end of the session, what Olivya does, she summarizes the session like a coach, and she sends it to you, to your email, and reschedule the next session for you, so you don't have to worry about organizing the admin of your life, of receiving coaching. And in case you are a bit skeptical about the support of an AI in coaching, I understand that AI is as limited as humans are. We have also coaching support with humans on the platform, because in the end, AI and human will work together. It goes as far as human also understanding goes. And so who is Olivya? Oh, I realized maybe that video will not show. I don't know if is there a video you see and you can play? Okay, okay, perfect. So maybe the best way to present Olivya is to let her present herself. So if you could play the video. Oh, let's go back.
Sophie, last time we discussed preparing for your upcoming pitch in Paris and decided to use the GROW model to structure your preparation. Would you like to continue with that, or is there a new topic you'd like to focus on today?
Well, Olivya, thanks. I'm preparing for the pitch, and actually I am doing the pitch right now. But before we get into that and the model, I'd like to know more about you and your history and your background.
Of course, Sophie. I understand the importance of trust and transparency. I am Olivya, an AI career coach created by Sophie and Marco, the co-founders of Rise and Play. My primary goal is to help professionals like you move from where you are to where you want to be through exploration and action. I use various coaching models such as GROW, CLEAR, and cognitive behavioral coaching, among others, to tailor the coaching process to your specific needs. My principles are non-advisory, non-judgmental, and focused on self-discovery, action, and results. I aim to promote continuous development and support you empathetically and non-judgmentally. Does this help you feel more comfortable to proceed?
Do you trust Olivya? Yeah? Will you trust Olivya? Thank you for playing the video. So what we created with Olivya was really to break down those barriers, because from the moment you need to talk to someone, you can. And you can solve it in 10 minutes. You don't need to spend days to look for that coach. And also in terms of budget, we also design it in a way that is affordable. So I'll share the link at the end of this talk. You can scan the QR code and sign up to our beta. So to summarize the things I shared today, clarity is what you want to get, structure and serenity. And the most powerful realization are the ones we walk. That's why we created Olivya, to give you power back to, walk your realization by yourself on your own time and privacy. And all of this is in the purpose, I believe, of where is the solution for humanity. It's not in our mind, it's in our heart. And this is when we allow ourselves to be fully ourselves, that a lot of things happen for entrepreneur, creation, leaders, professionals. But I have a disclaimer at the end, because coaching is not easy. At Olivya, we can only show you the path, because the rest of the journey is still for you to do. Thank you for your attention, and here you can scan the QR code if you'd like to give it a try, and I'll be out after this talk if you'd like to know more. Thank you very much.